Welcome to Reconcilor for mind planners, engineers, and so forth. I thought I'd just take an opportunity to run you through some of the modules within Reconcilor where you can actually see mind plans. An integral part of the mining process. If you're not following the plan, what are you doing? You don't build a house without following a plan. You should not be mining without following a plan. Within Reconcilor, we can import as many different mine plan types as you want. Okay, and so this data set here, I've just got the 3 different mine plan types. I've loaded the monthly mine plan onto the screen, and what you'll notice is that there's multiple versions of the mine plan stored. So every time we bring in a new monthly mine plan, and we know that they get generated on a regular basis, what we do is we actually allow you to activate a particular version for a particular time, and you can see that that is what this is representing here. So we've got one for February 2018, and it's been activated for 4 weeks in February before the March monthly plan comes in and actually is active for a period of 5 weeks. If for whatever reason you decide that that first week of the March mine plan version is not to be activated, and in fact you want to keep that previous version, you can just simply turn versioning and activations off and on through this screen, and it's as simple as what I'm doing now. We just turn things on and off. Now that's, as I said, that's for any mine plan type that you bring in, and we will store those. It is a versioning control, so that you can then compare any of your mine plans against any of the other data in Reconcilor. So now let's just go through to the trends screen, and I have preloaded it here. So we're in the trends screen. What we can see loaded already is the model by survey, so the mining model by survey against the mine production. And I'm just looking at tons here. I can be looking at grades, I can be looking at metal content, whatever I like, but let's just focus on tons to keep it really simple. What we'll do is start to load some mine plans in, and you'll see here we've actually got quite a number of different options of different types of data that we can show on these charts. So let's stick with mine planning, and let's bring in the budget for the planned mining, because we want to be comparing the same type of data, and this is the mining data. We'll add that in down below. I'll apply that, and I'll just build it slowly for you so that you can see. Now I'm starting to compare my budget over a period of time that I've selected up in this filter. I don't have to be looking at time. I could be looking spatially. So I could be looking at a bench. I could be looking at blasts. As long as your mine plan has that detail, we can do those comparisons. Let's load in the monthly mine plan, and we'll add that in now. We can see we've got another piece of data. So now we've got the model against mining, against your budget, against your monthly, and just for completeness sake and to show you how quick it actually is to get this data up, we'll bring in the weekly plan as well. And of course, what we're trying to do here is to look for any variations in the data over time. So when I look at this data here, I say, okay, well, the weekly plan is way out of line with the budget. Maybe I just don't have the most up-to-date budget, because the budget does fall short on a couple of those months. Maybe there was another budget that was released that I need to look at. Maybe the monthly looks like it was not looking too good in this particular month. If I'd been running these kind of reports or just looking at these screens on a regular basis, things like this jump out at you pretty quick. And now I don't even know this data. I know that I'm looking at monthly comparisons of all the data, like I said, the model, the mine production, and then my 3 different mine plans. I've got all the supporting data below, so I could be just looking at my weekly, and I've got the numbers there, and that's straight from your mine plan. Okay. I can be looking at this just as a table only, just as a chart. Again, I could be looking at this spatially, so I don't have to be looking at it over time, and I can do some stacking if I want, based on maybe material type. I have just pulled in ore only. Obviously, we've always got the option to be looking at ore and waste, and you should be comparing ore and waste at some stage of the process. So that's sort of one screen that will give you your mine plan data pretty easily. So it'll let you look at different versions as well. So if I wanted to look at a different version of the mind plan and just bring up multiple weekly plans and different versions, I could look at that. Same with the monthly mind plan. We've got all of the different versions there. So I can be looking at then, again, how well are these different versions comparing against my mind data? Think of the mining analysis as in everything from the source, so whether it's an underground or an open pit, and where is that material going to? The crusher feed is more about I'm at the crusher, where has the material come from that's being delivered to the crusher? So what we can see here is I've got a plan loaded. So I've got a weekly mine plan loaded for I've just picked out a week in March. I've chosen to look at the wet kilotons and a copper percent for my grade. And I haven't put any groupings on my direct feed or my stockpiling or my waste movements, but I absolutely can. So this is just a straight waterfall compared to what we plan to mine against what we actually mined. And so let's actually put some groupings on here now and say, I'm interested to know what my source benches were for my direct feed. And I could do the same thing for my stockpiling, but instead of, I'm going to choose my destination stockpile. So where did that material go to? And I'll just leave waste as a bulk value at the moment. Press apply. And there we go. So now we can start to see that grouping and seeing how well the mine plan compared to actual for each of those different groupings. Another screen that's really good to show the mine plan is the material movement screen, where you've got a bit of a visualization of what's happening on the mine. This can be customized for your site. This is just the generic version that comes out with the product. So we've got the mine production, the total numbers, and I've got a monthly plan loaded. And you can see these are just different data sets, okay? So if you click on any of these data sets, you'll get the underlying data for them. And I've just chosen a small data set. But I've got a haulage data set there, and I've called it haulage. I could call it dispatch. And I've got a monthly mine plan loaded. And let's add another data set, and we'll load the weekly plan. So we'll load that weekly plan there, and let's apply that. What you'll notice is name to dispatch, and we've now got a planned, and in fact, I probably should have called that the weekly. Gave me a default there. So this will now be called weekly, and I can compare my dispatch against my monthly plan and my weekly plan. And again, if I choose any of these data sets, I will get the underlying data from your mine plan. I hope this sort of shows you a little bit about what Reconcilor can do with your mine plans. And really, it does come alive when we've got mine plans in here. So it's not just about model reconciliation, it's about comparing to the plan as well. Thanks for your time.